All righty, so we have our broadcast going right now. Welcome everyone. We've got at least one sample file today. I was going to do two sample files, but I managed to lose one. I don't know where it's at. We're going to look at Brutterman's file. Then I had a couple opening questions and answers. I was making some notes here. If you have questions, so let's go through the opening questions today. So these are the questions that we have received. I've been, some of these, I don't know if some of you guys want me to answer these questions, guys and gals, because it's like, I don't know about that, right? I mean, do you really want that questions to be attributed to you? Probably not. So question number one, Groovy custom dialogues. Groovy custom dialogue is not a term. It is Groovy is actually a programming language or some sort of API language or something. Has nothing to do with that. So the word Groovy is misleading. I went over here, found it. I've loaded it on several pages. Groovy custom dialog is the idea of a card style window. All it is a card style window. And so Nick has covered card style windows at great length. It's a custom function, allows you to theoretically call it a little bit more easily. However, there's supposed to be a download here. You all see the download. It says download. There's like, I'm trying to like highlight and click and press. I can't download it. So if you know how to download it, let me know or send me the file. I can't actually get it to go. So the Groovy, I don't have a download for it, but it's a custom function that allows you from these folks at highvoltage.com.au. So they're Australia folks. I don't have a relationship with them, so therefore I'm not super comfortable in promoting their stuff. If I knew who they were, like Nick or like the Digital Fusion people in Australia, I have no problem promoting people. But their website's here, and it actually doesn't download. It says download it, and it says it's free, but it gives me all the requirements. It tells me about the license. So anyway, so I don't know how to make that work. If you can get it to download, that would be mix well. Yeah, you look for it. Let me know about that. I don't mind firing it up and playing with it, but it's custom dialogues, right? And whenever I do custom dialogues, I want them to be more like intricate and interesting, right? Like when I do the custom dialogue over here for this application, if I come over here and I press this, so this is about a custom dialogue. Watch this one, right? You hit this button right here. It comes up, little anime GIF comes up. I mean, that's a custom, that's why we use custom dialogues, to make them look awesome. If you use a custom function and you just input the same variables that you had before, like 4 things and 4 buttons, and you really can't make it neat or nice or do stuff like that, then I don't know. That's fine. You feel free to use it. It's just a custom function is what it is. It's just a custom function, so that's cool. So yeah. So I don't mind questions. So let's dive into samples and talk about samples a little bit here. And so the Canberra, which is Dave or Brad, correction. Saying, hey, is there something else besides the Groovy? Right. Well, it's basically just another way of executing the card style window. And Nick has talked about that quite a bit in his training. If you go to the lean design, I don't know if most of you have seen this, but I want to make sure that you've seen this stuff. I go lean. It's actually at fmtraining.tv. You go over here to individual courses. It's a free course right here. What we've done is we took all of Nick's stuff from last year. We rolled it in over here. Hopefully you can see that. And we have last year's content, which is really great. It's also from last year. And then we have the stuff he's already done this year. And so Nick has done a fantastic job with that. Just really an epic job. I've never met a more giving, less greedy individual than Nick Hunter. And it's weird the way he is. It's just very unusual to have someone who gives that much. I do, but I kind of expect people just to, we give all this stuff away, then they say, hey, send me some free software, right? So, so I'm kind of used to that. Like, I'm like negotiating, trying to, save my money and buy something. And it's one of those kind of bigger ticket items that, there's this negotiation back and forth, and I don't really negotiate a lot. I normally price our stuff pretty inexpensively, and if someone doesn't like it, that's fine. My sales guy loves to haggle up and down and left and right, and for me, it's like, we're like the top consultancies are $200 plus an hour. We're in that category. Some of them are $300 an hour because they're like really, like the elite dude. Right, 1 guy or 2 guys that are elite, and so they'll charge more because they can get that. We charge 150, and then I got people going, well, you really should be like 120 or something, and it's like, it's already at 150. Some of my engineers won't even bother with that. They start at 175 or higher because they don't want to mess with people who aren't serious. So part of this is figuring out how to position things, how to sell things, and everyone's different, right? I'm not a big haggler, right? Either you see value in it or you don't, right? And I kind of treat other people that way, but then when someone like that meets a person like Ryan, who's like trying to, up and down and do deals and stuff, then it kind of blows up, because I get offended when someone tries to because I don't start off at our high price expecting to move down. I start off the price I'm willing to accept, right? So anyway, yeah, so I don't have any additional information on the card style windows. We did cover them. He did cover them quite a bit this year, I thought, but I know he also covered them last year. You'd have to dig through here and see if you could find it. But we don't have, well, we have done, okay, back up. There is training. Okay, so you said, hey, there's no training. You can't find training on it. Okay, so if you go to the FileMaker video player here, I know that this got updated this year. It was a little bit misleading prior to 2020, but if you go to the 2020 course, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. I'm going to come down to dynamic. It should be under dynamic window control. This is a new section right here that didn't exist. So dynamic window control talks about the idea of single document interfaces, right? That idea, multiple windows, and then how you manage data on a single document interface. It becomes important because single document interface is what we have on really Go, and for sure in WebDirect. Go, you can kind of get around at the top a little bit. You hit the menu at the top and you can see the other windows. With WebDirect, the other windows are there. They're just totally invisible. You can't see them, so you have to know what their names are. You have to call them, okay? And so, so you got dynamic window control here, overview of other controls, popovers in new window command deep dive, tabs versus that. Then you got the hamburger menu and drawer with slide control. And I'm pretty sure, I wonder if it's all in here. Hang on one second. Why don't we just let's go for a ride inside my FileMaker Video Training Database. Where is that at? It might have been part of the Go course. Let me take a look at the Go WebDirect course, because it's not as relevant in, oh, I know, it is the Go and WebDirect course. So navigation, action menu items, comparison. Here we go. This stuff is in here. So it's in this course right here. These are published. Connecting to server. I don't know why connecting to server. Record, scroll, go, locking, gesture controls, single document interface, dynamic Windows controls, Go and WebDirect. So yeah, I would look at videos 0310 in the Go course, the current Go course. We are getting these updated and pushed out to you, so I would definitely check that out. Well, the single document interface doesn't have too much to do with Pro. It's mostly a function of Go and WebDirect. That's why it's in that course over there. So I would recommend you dig through those videos. So I'm going to move on from that topic at the moment. I would listen. You need to do a card style window. It's you pop a new window, right? It's in the training's in here. You guys have the training. Go watch the training, right? Pretty sure. Go watch the training. Alex from Mexico is here. Welcome, Alex. I think that's our Alex. So as a reminder, if you are looking for help in coaching, learning FileMaker, and you want help in Spanish, you can get that at a pretty good hourly rate. FileMaker one-on-one coaching in Spanish. Send an email to support@RC Consulting. We can do that for you. So let's talk about Brudderman's sample file that we have. Let's play with that a little bit. All right, so real quick, if you want to talk about this, I can go for a minute. If you want me to share your screen, or are you capable of sharing your screen? Do you want to talk about the custom dialogue for a minute? Because people have questions about that.
Yeah, sure. Let me clean up a little bit my mess here.
Why don't you clean up, get rid of all the all the not safe for work stuff on your computer.
No, it's not. It's so confusing. If you look my screen, I have 200 windows.
Well, Brudderman banged out this file for us the other day, about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, I guess. And we were talking about, illustrates how to navigate the layouts based upon layout ID. It's a really good little sample file, allows you to take a look at this feature under the hood about how to navigate to a layout, not by name, but by, notice they're all the same name, but go by layout ID, right? So layout 3 is ID. Well, you can get the IDs right here. You can see you got ID 1, 15, and 1, 11, and 15. And so that one's 1, that's 11, and that's 15, right? So it allows you to navigate between these layouts. Does that make sense? So you could do that by layout ID. It's a very good example. One of you asked about it, and then Brutterman kicked ass, built me a sample file. He'll probably build me another sample at some point because I comped him a complete bundle for sending us sample files that he built. Okay, so I'm going to let Nick drive for a second. You folks prefer talking to Nick anyway. He's much better looking than I am.
Yeah, so you have multiple ways to do dialogue here, but the show custom dialogue is kind of limited, but has some advantage. So yeah, so I was saying the show dialogue here has limitation, but it has some advantages. So now I'm going to explain that. So the advantage is that you can have multiple field input inside the same dialogue, and you can it's pretty much pre-built kind of dialogue when so it's easy to do. It doesn't look pretty advanced, but it looks pretty much good. So you see you can have a kind of a dialogue here, and you say, hey, how are you? And so you have multiple buttons here, and then you can specify the input field. So the big advantage is that you can have a field. You can point to a field if you want to input field, but you can also point to a variable. So you can say this, and you have another input variable if you want. And so I'm going to show you how it looks when you have, and you have a label. This is our input 1, okay, and input 2. And I'm going to show you how this looks. So it looks like this here. So you have a very, very cool dialogue that pops on top of all the windows, and so you can type something, and then when you click OK, you will see that it created automatically the var1, var2 with what you have put there. So you can point to a field, or you can point to a variable, which is great. I like the variable option here for that dialogue. Then what you have here, you have the default button 1, default button 1, 2, 3. So this is the voodoo part of it. Of course, everything here, the dialogue, the title here, and the message here could be a calculation. Like today is, and you can do this. For example, see, it can be a calculation, right? So when you do this, it's a calculation. So here you have the date coming. So in a dialogue, see, you can have something like a title that is dynamic, a message that is dynamic. The name of the button also can be the button names can be also dynamic. Big problem on this dialogue is the button here is the length is fixed. So you can have a big sentence in the button here, or it will be cropped. You can do this, so you can have a larger text in the dialogue. So you can stretch the dialogue if you want. So the show dialogue is cool. So here the voodoo part of the show dialogue is when you have the default button here. The default button will be the button that is that will be triggered by a carriage return. When you have the dialogue here, the default button will be this one, the blue one. That's the default button. That the one if you press return, that the one that will got triggered. Okay, so that they call the default button, or the button number 1. So you have to guess that the button, this one is the button number 1, that the button number 2, number 3. Okay, so how you can decide pressing this button, or pressing this one button, or pressing this button like, you know, you can do this if you want. How you can what's the name, decide which one do which, right? So after the dialog, here, so you can just say, okay, if you have an if, you know, and then you have a function, a FileMaker function that says get last message choice. Okay, so this is the function that will get the last message choice button. So that's why I call that voodoo, because you need, if you don't know that, there's no way you can use the custom dialog. Okay, so that the last message choice. So here's the problem. During the life of FileMaker, they call dialog message. Okay, so they didn't change the function. So the last message choice, which is nothing to do with the custom dialog, because we don't call that message anyway. So here you have message, but you know what I mean? So it's kind of a very voodoo. So if get the last message choice equal 1, for example, let's beep, for example, or let's I don't know, new window, for example, you know. So if you do this, okay, so if you launch this, it will say, if I click OK, that the button 1, it opens a new window. See, I have a new window now. Okay, so, and after that you can say else if this, if this equal 2, that means the button number 2 or the button number 3, right? So this is how you do the, what's the name, the custom what they call custom dialog, and with the get last message choice 1, 2, and 3. So you can have only free choice. So that's it. You can have more. Do you want to commit the data or not? When you click the button, this is where you ask that if you want to commit or not. So here is where you have the input fields. Can be you can target. So I show you that you can target a variable or a field. You can put a label on the name of the field, etc. So this is what we call the show dialog. So now, if you want to have a kind of advanced dialogues, you know, but when I say advanced dialog, I mean advanced dialog. It's if you go, for example, in work order, and you want to add, you want a dialog where you can have a list of records, for example, and buttons that, you know, like a selector, like, you know, so something like that. See, this is the dialog, but you can see here I have much more possibility than just this, like a very, very poor, you know, that's it. You know, I can have a list. I can, that's all what I get here. This is dialog. But when we have advanced custom dialog, where you have, you know, you can click here and then you can select here, and you can, you know what I mean? You can add a staff here. You can select. You can find for something, and so when you have this kind of advanced dialog, that you need to use what we call the card style window. Okay, so so that means this is nothing else than the layout. Okay, so so this is all my card style window stuff. So this is a layout. See, so it's a layout, and in the layout you put all the components you want, and then you have a new window. You know, a new window. You create a new window that points to that layout, right? So the big advantage of the card style window is very cool. Is that it's understand automatically to resize the window. Let me explain. When you say that you want to create a new window, okay, new window here, and then in the new window you say card. When you say card, you see you have a lot of options that disappear. Why? Because you can no longer minimize, maximize, resize, show the menu bar or the toolbar. You can do that in a card style window. You can just close, okay, close means you have a close button. I'm going to show you that, or dim the parent window. So when you do that and you say, okay, I want to point to the layout C983, okay? So you want to point to that layout, right? So automatically, you see here, it puts by default the height and the width of the layouts. By default, this is the height and the width of the layout. See, 525, 644. If I'm going here, automatically it understands 525, 644. It understands the height and the width, the minimum height and the width of that layout. So when you pop this, automatically it will resize the thing by the default of the what's the name of the window. Okay, so that's what it's doing. So if you want to make that bigger, okay, like this, you see here you have this layout here is stretchable. I can have it bigger or smaller, right? So if you say, okay, I want that to be bigger, I want that to be 650 and I want that to be 750, okay, so you can make it bigger. Okay, so what happened here, let's say I'm here and I want to pop this dialog here. I'm doing this. See, it's bigger now than what it was. And here I have the close button. So be careful with the close button, because if you say this, you close the button, and in your layout you have no way, you didn't think about it, and you have no way to close the window. Let's say you have no way to close the window, you didn't show the button here anymore, and you want to close the window, there's no way you can close the window. That's why in script somewhere here, I always have close window somewhere. It should be there, but it never happened to me anymore that I forget the close window button. So this is how you create a new custom dialog using CalStar window. You can see it's inside that window. You can click outside here. And as you can see here, I have the dim parent kind of the dim parent option. That means, see, this is grayed out. This is plain, the lights here, and this is grayed out. So when you click here, so but you can deactivate this if you want here, and now it will no longer do this. Okay. See, it doesn't dim it. But when you don't dim it, see, it's kind of confusing. So you need to know what you're doing here. You need to, because here you don't know what happened anymore. Okay. So another thing that I want to show about this, a sneak peek of what I want to show, because Scott, this is Scott Files, and he pushed me to do something that I never thought that was possible. So it's about photos, how to manage photo in FileMaker, so here you have an inspection, for example, and each inspection has components. Is for roof, and each component has photos. So I found it because there's multiple ones. Okay, so see here, I have a photos. So all those photos has been imported into into the system, right? So here you can see all the photos are in those photos are inside another file. I have another file with the photos, and so that the file where you have the photo, the FM gallery, it's another file. It's a different file. It's not different entity, completely different, right? So this is the file where I have the photos. So the system here with the CalStar window, that's why I was saying that's the Stargate to another world, is because here, for example, I have different components. Right, I have different components, and I want to assign picture to those components. So this is all the photo I have for this inspection, and I say, okay, I want to show the gallery. So here I'm showing the gallery for those photos, okay. And now I'm saying, okay, I want this one, or for example, I know this one is drainage, this one is drainage, this one drainage. See, I'm selecting the pictures. All of the drainage, those pictures, the 13 selected pictures that I have here is all about drainage. So I selected them, and then I click here on the inspection components, and I say this is drainage, and I validate. So now those photos are in the drainage section. Let's say this, I don't know, this is drainage as well, so I forgot this one, so you can go again here and go there. And then you can see this is, you can select this, for example, and you say this is mechanical unit related, because that's, that's a mechanical unit related. See, Scott, I'm learning very fast. Huh? So I validate this. So you can see now that this is a mechanical unit and this is a drainage default. So when you close this here, now the system tells you that those are being assigned to the drainage default. So when you go to the assessment here, you go drainage default and you see the picture you just assigned. And when you go to mechanical here, you see the picture. So the assignment of pictures are all in CarStar window. This is a CarStar window, okay? This is a complete other, this is another file. It's another file, but I am into this file here, and everything that happened here happened in another file. And so you can say I want to show all the unassigned pictures or all the assigned pictures and stuff like that. So this happened in a complete different files, but this is happening inside the window of another file. So this is what I was saying, and this has a huge advantage, and is going to revolutionize the way you think building things like that, especially now that Claris, and we are talking about that many years, but Claris start talking about enterprise, talking about pushing the FileMaker beyond the normal custom limitation that we have. Okay, so this is very good. This is very cool. Yeah, so I'm done.
All right, so real quick, I want to show off a sample file. What NJ is doing is kind of a fun little sample file here. I am gonna zoom the file in a little bit like that. So what he's doing is showing dynamic text resizing, right? And so what it is, we're resizing it by button. So if you had a bunch of text and you were doing this with a bunch of text, you could say resize to fit, right? See how it resizes that to fit, right? Pretty cool. And so that's kind of that idea. So the idea he's playing around with is, you could have some text that doesn't fit, but then you could resize it to fit. And I'm not entirely sure how he input. Growing the text to fit. Oh yeah, see, for me it'd be like the either way, right? So I guess there you go. So it goes the other way. So he plays around with it a little bit. He's playing it. Next is resize by button with zoom. He's got all sorts of stuff in here that are interesting. The one that I wanted to play with the most, and this is the one that looks like it's broke at the moment, is that like if I put this, right? And so I have to click out for it to activate. He had a demo where you would actually dynamically type and it would be resizing it while you typed. Doesn't seem to be working right now. You click out, it resizes up and down. Like this one is like a book, right? See all that? I mean, that's like a book of a book of a book, right? But if you delete some of it down, click out, now it's still too big. So you go up here like that, click out. See, it grew it up a little. I mean, this is really hard to see. Let me zoom in here. So, if you get rid of some of these lines, then what's going to happen is he goes, oh yeah, and he does some calculations. And ideally, he had a demo the other day. It was playing as you would type, it would dynamically resize as you were typing. This one, you click out, it redoes it. So it's kind of neat. I really like it. So he's having all sorts of fun here. Nick, so you want to do a training session on what? What would you do a training session on?
What do you mean training session?
Well, you want to get with me on something, but it's not even on my radar right now. So what do you want to do?
Yeah. So I want to explain how to use the CarStar window on the extreme side. That means we are going to resuscitate the way to work with FileMaker and multiple file. Because, for example, last week we discussed about the last week we discussed about with Jesse about the multiple servers and stuff like that. So what about having a file that runs on one server and another file that runs on another server, and to have both to appear on your computer as one file, right?
Yeah,
And
but I can already do that, Nick.
no, you can't. Not that way, because the problem is, so that I'm going to explain the difference between importing the schema of one file into another, using the external data source. So you can add a schema, you add TOCs, table
Right.
of occurrence.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So, but when you do that, you have a tremendous traffic between both server. So you have a traffic between your computer and one server. You have one traffic between your computer and another server, right? So it's not a good way to do things when you have to do hard things like I'm doing with the FM gallery. What I'm doing with FM gallery is a very, very deep on the server. You can really destroy your server if you have let's say 10,000 pictures. So the car style window makes the thing completely different. You are working on two different files, launching two different set of scripts and stuff like that from the same place of starting place, right? So look, it needs to be demonstrated. I'm going to use this example of the FM gallery integration to explain, and then of course I will have a demo file. I'm working on this. I will have a demo file to explain how to split, how to manipulate one file and another file without to replicate schema, replicate scripts and stuff like that in both files. so you know the FM gallery file that I built is used at FileMaker as what's the name, performance testing benchmark.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Is because I'm stressing FileMaker quite a bit doing what I'm doing with the file. But it works very well, and FileMaker keeps using it as a benchmark tool. Okay.
Oh, we do have the Groovy thingy here. I could probably bring it up. Did you want to look at the Groovy? Do you want to do a live review of another company's sample file, Nick? Would you like to do that? Let's do that.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not? It'll be the last thing we do today, probably.
So
let's pretend we don't know. What is this? Tear it apart. Go to layout mode. Look at scripts. Look at everything. Tear it apart. What is this?
Yeah. So you have here. You have a button that's a new window somewhere. Okay. Perform. I had script that perform script, but anyway. So let's go there. Let's go to perform script. So button here. Show. Okay. So.
It's a
perform
custom
script. So this is what.
It's a Groovy is a custom function, but yeah.
Yeah, it's actually yes and no. Yeah. So it's very simple actually. You can inside this dialog here. See, you have button 1, button 3, button 1, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go, bad boy.
And those buttons are what's the name? A variable that you trigger via a script script parameter, right? So you have a script parameter here. So you know what I mean, right? So it's you must have a starting stuff that define the button here. Yeah. So here you define your buttons here. You define the title. You define. Let's say you want to change it. You say hello from USA. Okay. And welcome to RCC. Now we started officially. Let me know, and you say, okay, we are reviewing your file. So you change this, and you say, okay, great, good, cancel. So you can keep this, that the buttons here, you can say 1, 2, so you can say whatever you want here. Hold on, I lost the focus on this. Okay, so you do this, so you know, and now you have cancel to great one. See, hello from USA. So you change pretty much with a parameter here. See, you have parameter here. I could improve that a little bit. Especially I can do something great. See here, we have show dialog, and what we miss is the cancel button. I want the cancel to cancel this, right?
Yep.
On the FileMaker custom dialog, we cannot do that, right? On this we can. Let me show you how I'm doing this. So on my file here, see, I don't have a cancel. I don't, I have to click cancel. So let's open God file, because I have it. So I have a script, what I call universal script, which is I can use anywhere, right? So I have a script here that's named escape key. So I have escape key and I have del key also, but I want the escape key. So this is a script that I'm using all over the place to do what I'm going to do right now. So I paste the script. So see the script, what I call universal script is the script walks across files and stuff like that. You don't need to remap and stuff like that. So here pretty much this is cool. So so let's go to the Groovy dialog. So you put this script on a trigger, which is on layout keystroke. You put this trigger on layout keystroke. That's why I name my script that say, okay, this is a trigger on layout keystroke, and it's the escape keys, right? So this is how I'm renaming my script. So this script here is on each time I type a keystroke, I type a key on my keyboard, it will launch something. So for now, I said I want to show the dialog, and I want me to see whatever I struck on the layout, right? So here I struck W, for example. Okay, so I struck W, and the ASCII code for W is 119. Now I struck capital W. Capital W is 87. Now I'm striking the famous escape key. Escape key is 27. Now I'm striking return key. Return key is yeah, it's my it's my
I hear the Star Trek, the original
yeah,
TVs here. There's someone singing.
Yeah, it's my phone. It's my phone ring. So here you get the point. So now I can intercept the code of the escape key, right? It's 27. I can intercept that. So here, what my script is doing is simple. I'm doing this. I detect if the code of the keystroke is 27, okay? And I close the window. That's it. So here, for example, I'm here. I show this, close the window, escape. See? Oh, sorry. See? I don't see my mouse is here, is off, right? And I click escape, bam. So now you see you can do the same thing for you can improve that and say else if, for example, right? And you want to do that for two things. You want to do that for 10, and you want to do that escape, okay? Or you want to do that for 13. Okay, so that is enter, and that is return. Okay, so see, if you have this, you say, for example, you say, okay, show dialog, okay? For example, so here what you have this, you click return, you have, you click return, hold on, why it's not working? Okay, hold on. Oh, because he has a, okay, he has a, yeah, okay, yeah, we don't do that anymore. The pause, the resume, this is, no, no good. So let's deactivate this because it was, okay, so here I'm going return, escape. Why the return is not working? Oh, because the dialog is empty. Haha. Okay. So now if I click, if I type return, I have this, right? If I type escape, I escape. See, so now you can have, let's say you have a default button here, right? So let's put some names on the button here. Was, you know, show looking dialog here. Why is not here? Okay, great, awesome. I don't understand why it's not working anymore, but it's this stuff here.
It's because it's Friday. That's Friday.
Yeah. Anyway, so you got the point here. You can escape. You can return. You can. So you can, with this technique here, this technique of the on layout keystroke, with the code, you can intercept the 27 and the 10. Okay. So 10 and 10 and 13. Well, those are the enter and return character. So so then you have a very cool real dialogue, which you cannot do with the show custom dialog here.
All right, cool. I appreciate everyone. Thank you. Just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Try to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap. Stands in, throws it left for Amendola. Reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10. Rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.